Good morning and welcome to Yoga with the Timeless Runner. My name is David and I am the Timeless Runner. And each day I do a workout with yoga that ranges between 10 and 25 minutes. I started doing it back in January of 2021 because I've had issues with sciatica down my left side. I've been a lifelong runner and have gotten away from stretching over the years, so I thought that it might be a good thing to try the yoga as I'm now 70 years old. And I've actually had a lot of good fortune with it in relieving the sciatica. I do a YouTube shorts every day. If you haven't checked them out, please check them out after this video. But today I'm going to focus strictly on specific yoga poses that I've found are good at relieving issues that I've had with sciatica. The sciatic nerve, as you may know, comes out of your tailbone and it will wrap down around your leg and terminate at the top of the foot. I've had issues with a pain in my butt, literally, for the last 3 or 4 years, and I found that that is what people are referring to as piriformis, or deep gluteal syndrome, or deep gluteal complex syndrome, which basically means that there's a big knot in my butt on this muscle that surrounds the sciatic nerve and puts pressure on it. So I'm going to show you a few quick poses today that you can do to stretch out the glute, relieve the pressure on the piriformis, and relieve the pressure on the sciatic nerve. So to start with, I always like to loosen up the lower back and upper back because that's the spine, and the spine's where the nerve runs through. So just a couple of deep breaths to get started. Usually stand with my feet shoulder width apart for balance, because as we age, balance is another thing that goes out the window. And then I'm going to start to stretch up. I'm just coming up, standing on my toes and balancing there. As my grandchildren say, I'm going to reach for the sky. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do a back bend, standing back bend. And then to loosen the back, I'm going to interlace my fingers behind the back, bend over and push my arms up, and you'll feel the stretch in your hamstrings and in your upper back. You should also notice that you're going down closer to your knees as you do this. Again, remember to breathe. And then I go into what I call a diver pose. This is how the swimmers used to stand on the starting blocks as they were getting ready for a race. You'll feel a stretch in your shoulders as you push away with your hands. And then just kind of rock on down. I've always had a dream of being able to touch my toes. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but this is one way that you would get some additional length in your body that enables you to do it, because you're going to loosen up your upper back, your lower back, your hamstrings, and your shoulders. And I will usually do 2 or 3 of these. I'm going to stop at 2 today, but again, push your arms up as you fold your head down. You'll feel the stretch in the back of your legs, all along the side. Go to that diver pose. Put your arms together and just kind of rock side to side to loosen those muscles up. And come on back to standing. So that's going to give us some stretching for the lower back. The next couple, I'm going to get down on the ground. I don't have a yoga mat, but I don't care. And I'm going to show you a couple specific things you can do for piriformis. First is, these are all going to be hip related. To start with, your sitting on the floor with your toes pointed out. And then we're going to rotate our knees side to side. Put your hands behind yourself to brace you. And as you go side to side, you're going to feel the stretch in the hip flexors. And this is actually one of those poses that I did initially that started giving me almost immediate relief for the sciatica. Again, what we're working to do is to loosen up the muscles in the glute around the piriformis, or what they're calling deep gluteal syndrome. So I do a couple of these, probably 5 on each side during a 25 or 30 minute session. And then as you do these, you stop to the side and you can bend over and stretch it again. And here's where you're going to feel the stretch in your glute as you bend forward. And hold it. Typically when you do a stretch, you want to hold it for about 20 seconds. And remember to breathe as you're doing that. And with yoga, whenever you do something on one side, you do it on the other. So I'm going to, again, swivel the legs and then bend over the other side for the stretch. And hold it for about 20 seconds. Now from this position, I will typically go into what's called a reclining pigeon pose. And this is where you lay on your back, you put your heel of one leg on the knee of the other, and I start by pushing away. And that's going to give you some stretch in the outer hip, on the hip flexors. So pushing it away is going to loosen up your groin and your hip flexor. And then you reach through your legs, put your hands on the back of your knee and pull your knee upwards. And this is going to give you a stretch further down in the glute, almost at the top of your thigh. But you'll feel the stretch. Again, you want to hold this for about 20 seconds. And remembering to breathe. And then you can rock side to side. And as you do that, you're going to be working those tendons and ligaments around the hip. Give you the stabilization. From that pose, I will go and I'll grab the toes of my feet, stick my other leg out, hold the leg up. And this next one's going to be something that's called nerve flossing. What you're going to do is you're going to hold your leg up and then point your toe back towards your face, pushing your heel up, and drop it down to halfway. Heel pushing out as you come down, let the toe point forward. And this is going to move the nerve, the sciatic nerve, in its path of travel. So you're going to, in essence, like you're flossing your teeth, you're going to be moving the nerve back and forth in its canal so that you can hopefully eliminate any of the areas that are putting pressure on that nerve. So again, it's heel up as you extend your leg, toe pointed down as you're returning. And again, I typically do about 10 of these as I do that. From the nerve flossing, I will go and I'll put my knee up again on the opposite leg, put the heel of my foot against the knee and pull it gently inward. And that's going to give you a stretch, again, on the outside of the hip and in the deep glute. And again, you want to hold these for about 20 seconds as you do them. and then go further by pushing your leg down, hooking the toe of your foot behind your knee, and rotating to the side. And again, you should feel the stretch in your deep glute area. Just relax. Put some pressure on the outside of the knee to push it down towards the ground. If it feels like it's hesitant, don't worry, it'll release. And that's the whole purpose of the routine, is to get your piriformis, or all those muscles that are deep inside your glute, to release. And with anything else, what we do on one side, we do on the other. So we start with that reclining pigeon, putting the heel of our foot up on our knee, pushing away initially on the knee to get the stretch on the outer hip. Then we're going to reach through our legs, lift our knee up. And again, you'll feel the stretch on the outside of the glute, outside of the hip. And as you do this, again, remember to breathe, but just try to relax. Rock back and forth to increase the range of the stretch as you do this. Drop your knee down and grab your foot. You'll feel a stretch in the back of your leg. And then as you do that, hold yourself behind the knee and go into the nerve flossing on this side. Typically when you have sciatica, it only affects one side. For me, it's the left side that is the issue. But for me, I always do to one side what I do to the other. So if I go through the stretches on the left side, then I will go in and do the stretches on the right side. Again, heel pushing up as you raise your leg, toe pointed down as you come back. Put your knee up and then gently pull on the knee on this side to give you the stretch on the outer portion and in your glute. Then drop your knee, hook your foot behind the knee, and pull it over to the side. Try and keep your shoulders flat on the ground while you do this. And again, about 20 seconds, remembering to breathe as you go through this. There are one other set of stretches I'm going to show you, again concentrating on the hips and the glute. And the first is to just cross your leg over the knee of the other leg. Put your arm up over your knee and lean into it as you twist. And then do it to the other side. Again, you can hold this for as long as you like, up to a minute or so, that's not an issue. And that's the basic stretches that I have for piriformis. There are others that I'll show you as we go along. But again, I always finish the routine the way I started it, with some deep cleansing breaths. Feeling good about what I did. Again, my name is David, the Timeless Runner. I've got lots of videos on YouTube Shorts that are fast forward or time lapse that'll show you a number of different poses for the back, the spine, the glutes, the legs, all the muscles that the runners use. Check them out. And if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love for you to come back and watch some more. Take care. See you next time.